I think I'm finally getting the hang of this. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to What the Fuck Tuesday. We back on StreamYard. Um, but I'll be using my regular software on Friday for the Dusty News Network because of my slideshows. I can't quite figure out how to do it on here yet, but I'm sure they have a capacity to do it some kind of way. But on Tuesdays, we do our live stream relationship advice show where people send in their letters in advance. My lovely cousin Candace organizes them into this wonderful trusty document here for me. And she emails it to me. I print it out right before the show. My little raggedy printer that I've had for 10 years, bought at Costco, it's still working. And um, and then I print them out and get ready to, do the show. So, for if you're new here, just understand this, nobody's ignoring your question, but it's not that kind of show. We do those occasionally, but that's not this. All these questions are previously submitted. And my moderator, Shay the Bay, will be holding it down and keeping everybody down to a low roar and, making sure the trolls are where they need to be. Oh, somebody new, Eudora. Welcome to what we call the squad. They call themselves the squad. And, I don't know how that came about, but I just roll with it because that's what they want to be known by. So today we have, oh, wait a minute, it says 25 advice questions plus a bonus question. So that means 26 in my count, with all using my little fingers. Okay, cousin, let's get started. You guys like to keep up. Of those of you who want to keep up, we got 25 plus a bonus question, so 20, basically 26 questions today. Okay, so let's start with question number 1. This is a female in the 26 to 32 age group from Mesa, Arizona. Hello, everyone. I'm writing to ask about my boyfriend who won't stop comparing me to his dead wife. Oh, she passed away 5 years ago, and they'd been married for about 2 years. She passed unexpectedly from a car crash, is what I'm told. My boyfriend and I have been seriously dating since 2019 and moved in together this year. I moved into his home, the same one he had with her. Please understand, I have no ill will towards the woman. I just can't help personally feeling like shit every time she's brought up. I'm constantly being compared to her, and it feels like there are 3 people in this relationship. If I cook dinner, he tells me how she had this perfect marinade and how he wished she had told him about it. If I want to play any sort of co-op game with him, he brings her up and all the cute things she did in that game. It's not even things that she was better at than me. I accidentally stained a blue button up with bleach, and he mentioned how she once accidentally turned all his white shirts pink. I hate it. I hate being here. My fucking heart hurts every time this happens. And I really just don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I brought it up to him so many times that it hurts me, that it bothers me. And it goes either of 2 ways. He apologizes, then continues to do it after a while, or he accuses me of being jealous / not letting him grieve and lament her passing. There was only one time where he directly compared us. It was when we first started going out, about 6 months in, I think. We got into an argument and he said, she would have never done this. Why are you being so difficult? Wow. It gutted me. He apologized later, and a bunch of our mutual friends mentioned how it was a slip in the heat of anger and that he still cares for the wife since she died so abruptly and / recently. I just want to leave, but I can't help but feel that if I do, I'll be labeled as an overly jealous woman. He's not a private person. He airs everything. And I also feel as if people won't be understanding. Like she's dead, she won't be coming back. I just don't know how to break up with him. Do I lie? Do I say anything else? I have no idea. First, you do. This is what you do. First, you get your own place. You get your own place. Okay, that's the first step, which you probably should be able to do because a lot of people, they can't pay their rent, they moved out or whatever. So there's, there should be like a pretty much of a open spot on the real estate market where you can find a nice place just for you. Okay, then you pack your stuff up. You arrange for your movers to come and all that kind of stuff. And then the day that you're going to leave, you tell him, I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you because you are still mentally wrapped up in your ex, your wifey or whatever, however you want to word her, his relationship with her. And it's like there's like three people in this relationship, what you just said, and that's not working for me. I just want a relationship where a man is open to loving me, not the ghost of his ex-wife. So I'm gonna go because obviously you have a long way to go in your grieving slash healing, and I just don't feel like being bothered. So I'm out. Deuces. And that's all you have to say. You don't have to give him a whole bunch of explanations and all the stuff. And then the other thing I want to point out to you is, you have a whole paragraph in here where you are more worried about what other people are gonna say and what other people are gonna think. Fuck them. Okay. If anybody, any of his friends or any even your friends come at you with that trash, say, well, you think he's such a fucking great person, you go over there and date him. That's all you have to say. Shut that down. Because they're not in a position, they don't know what you're going through emotionally every day with that fool who can't let some stuff go. See, I'm so evil though. As soon as he started talking about some ex of his, I would start talking about mine. Yeah, it's just really funny how you want to talk about exes because I had an ex, and guess what? He never whined. He never whined, and he never complained about anything. I still wonder, why did I leave him? Hmm. Plus, his dick was bigger than yours, and he could fuck better than you. I just stayed with you because I think I felt a little sorry for you because your wife had died and you were just such a little lonely critter. So, but at this point, I just don't really feel like it. And there's too much energy. There's too much time invested and you just are like a fucking vampire. That's what, I don't know. Like my husband did that. I know I told you that, but we always have new people. He did that shit because he had been married before, right? So, I mean, when you first start dating people, they tell you about this, you know what I mean? Some of that conversation, you just got to deal with it. Okay, but it's like 3 months later, you're still talking about that bitch. So I'm like, okay, we're at the 90-day mark now. This is when you either decide you're going to stay or go. So I said to him one day, I said, look here, home skillet. There is room for two people in this bed and two people in this relationship. Either it's going to be me and you, or it's going to be that bitch you divorced and you. So which one do you want it to be? Because I'm not doing this anymore. And it wasn't like he did anything like this bad, like this. He just kept mentioning her. And see, I'm of the mind, if you keep, whatever you talk about, that's what's on your mind. And I'm not saying he can't think about her. I'm sure it was somebody that was, important to him in his youth and all that old stuff. But, I don't want to hear it, sir. I'm not trying to hear all that. My hair sticking out crazy. I don't want to hear it. So, he didn't stop. And so that was the end of that. But I tell you, after I looked at him dead in his eyes and told him that, his eyes started darting around like this. His eyes was darting around because that's what he did when he was thinking about something, right? He's thinking. And every time he was thinking hard about something, his eyes would, do this back and forth thing here. And so I'm looking at him dead in his eyes, just waiting for him to, to stop doing his eye thing. And then he stopped and he looked at me and he said, I'll never do it again. I said, good. There you go. That's the end of that. But you got to tell them. You can't just, you just tell them what your boundaries are and stuff, what your limits are. This guy, man, you have the patience of a saint to deal with this for all those years. There's no way. Because I said I was at the 3 month mark and I was like on the fence whether I should dump him or, what was going to happen. But I decided, you should at least tell the person what's bothering you if you like them. And I did like him. So I told him that just to give him a chance to fix the situation. But if he had mentioned her ass one more time, that's all he had. One more time. That was it. What's up? Stop typing in all caps. What's wrong with you? That's like you shouting at everything. Just type in upper and lower case like a normal person. Let's move on to question number 2. This is a female in the 25 to 29 age group out the UK. My boyfriend of a year moved into my apartment 9 months ago. He said he was going to find a job. I said he didn't have to financially contribute, only if he was going to save for a car. He immediately started blowing money. 2 months later, I asked about the car, and the conversation went horribly. I said he was going to have to start financially contributing. No money came in. He is on EI, employment insurance. I'm like, okay. He buys me smokes and some takeout. He puts a lot of money into video games and dental work. 4 months later, I asked about a job again. He had an attitude and said he will work when he's ready. He used watching my kids as an excuse and COVID. He knows he could have worked if he wanted to, even though he was watching my kids since school shut down. He played video games all day while they were on their tablets. At this point, he said he'd start financially contributing after his dental work was done. At this point, still no money, and the dentist work has been prolonged for a long time. He cooks and plays video games. He's done some good things for my kids. But due to some childish behavior and all of this I mentioned, he's at his mom's because I need space. I need your and the squad's opinions on me telling him to stay at his mom's house for a while so we can work on this relationship and maybe he can move back at a later date. Is that a yes or a no plan of action? Well, you can look in there and see what they have to say. But I'm going to tell you, since you asked me, he's a bum. Okay, what man moves into a woman's house and doesn't pay any bills? That is a fucking leech, a sponge. And you, by telling him he don't have to contribute nothing, well, that was a dumb bunny move. Don't you ever be thinking you're gonna be taking care of some man like he's a pamper wearing toddler. That was a mistake. Haven't you read what do I say every show? Never help a man. Never help a man. This is the kind of shit that you end up with. Okay? You don't he's not he's a grown man. Okay, no matter where he lived, he was going to have to pay something. Why you let him get away with that and play video games and get his teeth fixed and stuff? Although I have to say, where were they from? Yes, in the UK. Ooh, I have to tell you, most of the men I have met from the UK have some fucked up teeth. I don't know what it is about what's going on over there, but everybody's teeth is all, sitting at kind of different angles and all looking crazy. I'm not about that. But yeah, I don't understand how you put up with this. And it's not good for your kids to see you with a quote man doing this kind of stuff, girlfriend. Especially, I mean, I don't know what your gender your kids are, especially your young, well, no, both kids, because your girls are being learning bad lessons about, what to look for in a man and how to have super low expectations of the man in their life. And your son is being modeled a bum. So I mean, either way, this was just the worst thing that you could have ever done. You moved in a bum over your children, and he's not giving you any money. He just added an extra mouth to feed and just being stupid. I don't understand what you were thinking. You can't be that hard up for some D. Okay? It just please don't act like that. So let him stay at his mother's house. If he has anything else at your house, pack it up and call an Uber or whatever they got over there in the UK and have them delivered to his house where his mama is and let him stay her problem. Okay? That's what you need to do. Wow. Oh, I just want to say, we are streaming today on Facebook and my favorite channel, Twitch, as well as YouTube. So we going on I'm trying, it's my experiment. I usually don't like to stream on Facebook, but why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's move on to question number 3 for those who are just coming in. We got 25 advice questions plus a bonus question Candace wrote. Oh, it's my Shay. And now just see, let me look at the roll call and see who's all in here. Oh yeah, a whole bunch of new people. I see some new names. Welcome all the new people. If you guys got time. Oh, on my Ask Miss Heartbeat page, which I rarely go on Facebook anymore, but I go over there to promote my videos every once in a while. I go check out some stuff and see what's going on because I can, use it for fodder of what not to do. Okay, let's move on. Okay, question number 3. This is a young lady in the 26 to 29 age group out of Atlanta. Oh, we already know it's going to be some dust. She says, I went on a date with this guy a little over a week ago. I posted about it on a website. Oh, she put the name of it. I'm not going to say. Long story short, he was a bit handsy. We were making out and his hands went all the way up my inner thigh. And I was worried if it was going to go any further. And he was rubbing my chest, moving down. I would pull away. When he dropped me off, he was dry humping me outside of his car as we kissed goodnight. Okay, young lady, we'll address you in a minute. Granted, my online dating profile says my perfect first date is making out in nature. I didn't mean anything more than making out, though. He texted me a little over a week after our date. It was nearly 9 p.m. and he was like, "Want to hang out and watch the moon?" Okay, there's your nature. I didn't respond. I got the sense that this was a booty call. You think? 2 days later, he asked if I'm ghosting him. I tell him straight up that I was uncomfortable with his handsiness and that I got the vibe he was looking for a quick physical thing and that I'm looking to build more of an emotional connection first. I said it just like that. The next day, he texts me and he says, in short, first of all, in your profile, you said you were spontaneous and that you wanted to make out in nature. You didn't show any signs that you were uncomfortable at the time. We had a great time. Now you're saying this, and I think it's fucked up. I don't hang out with people like that and open up like that. We went hella deep twice. And now you're saying I have no emotions or feelings. Thanks, Urban. Now you change your mind after no hint that you were uncomfortable in the moment. You change your profile. I did after I realized I may be giving the wrong impression. I removed the make out in nature part. I also saw your blank Tinder profile. That usually means you're looking for spontaneous whoopee. I took a screenshot of it in case you are psycho. Wow. So fuck you trying to me too yourself or whatever this is actually the other way around. And your fucking sassy attitude, you're so disconnected from reality. It's so sad. Please be more transparent next time and good luck out there. I texted him back that I'm new to dating and I'm learning what I'm looking for. That was that. He hasn't responded. The reason I didn't say anything in person is because I feel unsafe putting boundaries down with men. I have past trauma and I have a hard time processing in the moment. I am very hurt by his response. I felt his anger was not warranted. I don't understand where it's coming from and why he is so angry. I feel I am allowed to change to be flexible in what I'm looking for. I'm guessing he may be mad because he thought we were going to have eggplant and now I said no. I want thoughts and opinions. I feel exhausted. Okay, you know what? You don't need thoughts and opinions. You need your little ass kicked. First of all, what in the world would possess you? Okay, what was your thought process? Knowing all the perverts and weirdos, stalkers, murderers, all kind of crazies in this world that are online looking for new victims, what would possess you to put something like that in your profile? Do you realize that's like putting a bloody fish in the water where there's sharks? That's what you did. So then here comes a shark, and then you want to play, play stupid. They play dumb and coy, and oh, I don't really want that. This and that. You should have never put that in your profile in the first place. If you wanted something that was serious, that's what you should have put in your profile. See, your actions and your words, girlfriend, they need to match. I say this all the time. When you send a mixed message to me and you create situations that will cause you problems. Okay. I'm not saying that any kind of assault is your fault. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I am telling you, though, it becomes a thing where you would say one thing and then do another or do one thing and say another, and it sends a mixed message. How is a guy supposed to know which one of those messages you really mean? How's he supposed to know that? Okay, so he might be doing something that you find offensive or, going someplace you don't want to go, but you said something else. And so he's thinking it's okay because that's what you said. You see what I mean? So yeah, because he might have been handsy, but your message indicated that handsiness was okay. So I'm really confused about your response here and why you trying to play victim over here and talk about, I don't feel his anger was warranted. I'm angry for him because what you did was hella stupid. Luckily he had some good sense. It's not, like these nutty kind of dudes. He just sent you a mad email, which nobody gives a shit about. But I mean, you can't do this, okay? If you are new to dating and you don't have this kind of understanding of how to conduct yourself, close your online profiles. Don't you go anywhere until you go through at least 100 videos on this channel, minimum 100. Okay, and you start learning about how to conduct yourself, how to communicate with men, how to establish boundaries, what to do if they violate your boundaries, what the red flags are that you should be looking for, what to do if you see certain red flags. Are these things negotiable? Are these things instant deuces? You need to know these kinds of things before you go back out there. Because what you just did was hella stupid and very dangerous. Okay? Don't do this anymore. I mean, little girl, you better get your shit together. Just the bottom line. Let's move on to question number 4. This is a young lady in the 21 to 25 age group out of Illinois. Deb, I need some advice as I'm not really sure what to do. Every time my partner and I are out in our local club, we always bump into one of his exes. And I would have thought that after all these years, she would leave it alone and stop trying to chat up my now fiance. But she hasn't. She will wait till he's alone and try talking to him, and has done this the whole 4 years I've been with him. He's told her nicely that he wants nothing to do with her, and he's also told her very bluntly to fuck off. But that hasn't worked either. It ruins the night every time we're out. It's getting past a joke. Should I step in and message her, tell her to back off, or should we keep trying to ignore her? It's been really nice about the whole thing, but after years of it happening, my patience is wearing thin. This is my partner's favorite nightclub, and all of his friends go here and nowhere else. So I'm stuck for ideas. Okay, this is what you do. You say he's your fiance. Where's your ring? Okay, where's your ring? What you have to do is go to uh when you go to the club next time, you wear your engagement ring, right? You see her trying to chat him up. So you have to lay a plan. Don't just go like really go anywhere. Just walk away to make it seem like you left somewhere so you could go to the other side of the club and observe, right? So then when she comes up to him, you come up behind her because she's not gonna know that you're doing it. You have to be strategic about this, and you got to be strategic when you're dealing with stupid bitches. So then you come up with your ring on, right? Oh, let me put my ring on my thumb ring. Oh, that's too tight. All my rings are too fit too tight. Oh, okay, this one. Okay. So you're gonna pretend like this is your engagement. Ooh, this is too big. Okay, this is your engagement ring. Pretend like there's a diamond on there. Okay, use your imagination. All right, so you're gonna be like, hi, honey. Oh, I was over there on the other side. I ran into some girls that I used to know, and I was showing them my engagement ring. It's so beautiful. Look at this. You did a really good job picking it out. You just ignore her. Oh, you did such a great job picking out. And then if she's like facing him, you bust between them, wrap your arms around him, and stick your tongue down his throat. Grind on him a little bit, and then pull him out and say, "Come on, let's dance." And then you pull him away to the dance floor. She's gonna be so molded that she won't know what to do. What can she do? Because now he's your fiance. Now that's not as good as a husband, but it's the next best thing. Because a lot of people break up before they actually get married. But it will throw a lot of salt in her face, and it will, in case there's other people around that know her, it will embarrass her, and that's the main thing because she just looks like a thirsty cow. And so, but you saying how beautiful it is, and how much you appreciate him, and he's so sweet to you, and he's so great, and you're so glad you met him, and he did such a great job picking it, and you're happy he loves you. And I would just say so much shit that would just have that bitch in a puddle of tears, and be like, this and that, and then look at her with disdain, like up and down. It's like, yes, baby, this and that, and blah blah blah. Come on, let's dance. That's how I would do it. Why would I do it that way? Because I'm a bitch. And I love it. I love cracking hoes' faces. It's just such a delicious moment. I don't know. I just dream about doing stuff like that. And that look on their face of just being crushed, humiliated, embarrassed, feeling like they're shit, like they got rejected, that nobody wants them, that they're last year's news. All those kind of thoughts are going through their mind as they desperately try to hang on to a man who doesn't want them. That's what I would do. So I don't know, what kind of, personality you have, but this is definitely not anything that you interject yourself in. Don't you dare send her no text. Don't you do nothing stupid and ghetto. Okay, you don't confront her. Not you do if you're going to confront her, you do it the way I told you, the slick, cool, bitch, please kind of way. Okay, you leave her face cracked. Your boyfriend will know what you're doing, but don't tell him in advance. You just do it. You're going to put on an Academy Award performance. That's what you're going to do. Yeah, you don't never that texting and calling. I'm gonna go to the bitch's house. I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna this and that. You're not gonna lower yourself to that level. You're gonna high level bitch her. That's what you're gonna do. You think I'm crazy? I'm telling you. I just love to crack bitches' faces. It's just so delicious. Oof, my God. So let's move on. Question number 5. Female, 225 out of Toronto. This guy, who is 5 years older than me, and I started dating a few weeks ago. After a while, we decided we weren't relationship material for each other. Distance and too much, thank you, distance and too much arguments. But we decided to become a FWB since we did match on that part. We made plans for this coming Tuesday for me to stay over at his place like we did 2 weeks ago. But when I wanted to confirm the plans, he read my message but didn't reply. After a while, I asked him what was up, and he told me that he was a bit sick. I replied it again, asked for confirmation. He hasn't replied for hours, but is online every now and then. I eventually messaged again that I want to reschedule because my friends want to go out. That was 3 hours ago. I'm extremely annoyed since his actions do not match his other actions and words. Yesterday, he wanted me to come and was really enthusiastic. He brought me a toothbrush, wine, cooked for the last time, etc. This was pretty confusing since I wouldn't do that for someone I just have eggplant with. Am I missing something or am I overreacting? It's not him to react for hours, usually within an hour, not reply to a question, etc. Some part of me is like, ditch him and move on, or you will get hurt eventually. But the other part doesn't want to lose him and end up without him at all. You don't have him and you never did. Did you forget this part over here where it says, we decided we weren't relationship material? Distance and too many arguments, but we decided to become FWBs. Okay, you know what that means? That means that all an FWB is somebody that you fuck occasionally. There's no commitment. He's free to date and fuck other people, so are you. That's what that means. So the fact that he was gonna, he had made some loose plans for you, days out, and then had something else come up to where he wanted to do that instead of be with you. You're not supposed to be sending him all these texts and trying to catch up with him and all this kind of stuff. You're acting like he's your man, right? This is just somebody you screw chick. If he wanted you to come over, he's supposed to be reaching to get in touch with you. See, you got something twisted. You don't ever do that. Okay. If you want some and you let him know, but he don't respond, then it's over. What you're supposed to do is go to plan B. See, because if you were doing what I said and was dating 2 or 3 dudes, then this wouldn't be an issue. You would just be, oh, okay, well, plan A is not plan B, then plan C. I mean, what? Because if you find with any of them, they all put it down the way that you like. So you just go from whoever's available. That's what men do. I mean, if that's what you want to do it. You're a grown woman. But it's not confusing. He was just being a good host. He brought you a toothbrush and wine and stuff. I mean, men who have like the lover mentality are going to provide an atmosphere that makes you the most comfortable, because when you're the most comfortable, that's when the sex is the best. Do you not understand that? When women feel tense and uncomfortable, distrustful, they're worried, about what's happening and this kind of stuff. They're uptight and things don't happen. It doesn't flow. That heat's not there. So him providing you with these little basic necessities of stuff, which you should be having a toothbrush in your purse anyway, and a little bag with some moist towelettes and refresher, moisturizer, makeup remover, all that kind of stuff. You should have all that in your purse if you're going to be living this lifestyle. Right? At least a little bag in the trunk of your car that you could reach in there and pull out. Right? If you're gonna do this, do it right. Okay. I'm telling you all my secrets. But it's like, you should never be anywhere where you don't have all your stuff that you like. I mean, I like to use, certain moisturizers and cleansers and stuff. So I carry my shit with me. I'm not using your ivory soap on my face, nigga. The next thing I'll be looking like you. That could be horrific. I mean, looking like Shrek and shit. No. So you bring your shit with you. But I don't see why you would read into that. And what's he supposed to do? Just let you starve? He sounds like a man with some good home training and you just misinterpreting it. So I'm going to suggest this, that you leave him alone, and because you're not ready, you don't know how to do a FWB. You're not emotionally, mentally mature enough to do it. Let's move on. Question number 6. We got 25 advice questions plus a bonus question. I can't wait to see what the bonus question is. What, Diana? You know it's true. I'm trying to tell y'all how to do your shit, okay? If you're going to be out here being rogue, like your friend used to be when she was young, then you just have to have your shit. You got to have a plan. You just be all willy nilly. And you got to understand the rules of the game. If you're going to be a player, there's rules to this. Okay. One of which, you don't chase down dick. Never. Because you go in your file of backup and back up to the backup. You don't be sweating one dude because he's not available. I don't understand this. I don't understand. Oh, is Leandra here now? Her crazy ass. Oh, hey girl. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. We got question number 6 on deck. This is from a young man, 21 to 25 age group from Wilmington, North Carolina. I broke up with my girlfriend. She's 19 of 9 months just 2 days ago because I didn't think I was falling in love while she was head over heels for me. I feel like I was wasting her time if I wasn't sure I saw a future with her. And I had been debating breaking things off for a month or so even before that. Now that we stopped texting, I'm really starting to miss her. I'm wondering if I made a mistake. She truly cares about me, and I'm sure it's going to be hard to find someone with that amount of emotion. And I think a lot of the things I didn't like were superficial and will change as she matures. But I know I can't go back to her if I'm not sure and cause another heartbreak. I just can't tell her I miss her, or just I can't tell if I miss her, he put the her in caps, or just having someone, period. Maybe I should have given it more than 9 months. Nope, you did the right thing. And I applaud you for having the courage to do it. It's not an easy thing, because even though you're young, you're in the 21 to 25 age group, you had enough sense to really think about what you were feeling and not feeling. And you had enough presence of mind to think about how what's going on with you impacted her, because even though you weren't in love with her, it seems like you respected her and you liked her as a person and you didn't want to mistreat her. So you did what you were supposed to do, which was, free her to go and find someone who would love her the way that she needs to be loved. You had that much respect for her. So you bow down. You did good, young man. Now, what you're dealing with now, of course, there's, what they call buyer's remorse. You made a decision. And so now, you're faced with the repercussions of that decision. And so now you're second guessing yourself. Understand that, you probably do miss her because you did like her. You just didn't love her. Like in love, you didn't have that feeling, but you liked her enough. You was with her hanging around for 9 months, right? So you liked the girl. Oh, thanks, Leandra. And so, of course, you miss her presence. I'm sure you guys had fun together, laugh, go places, do stuff, you do your little nasty stuff, all this kind of stuff. Of course, you're going to miss that. But you have to stay focused on the fact that you were not offering her the the love and devotion that she deserved to have. Okay, so don't tease her, don't play around, block her number, remove it from your phone so you can't be, having your moments of loneliness and texting her and stuff and starting her healing all over again. Don't do that to her. Just leave her alone. Okay, find somebody else. You got a young man, sound like you got some kind of emotional intelligence going on here, which is very rare in your age group. But so I encourage you to seek companionship elsewhere. Leave her alone and let her go find somebody, that's going to love her the way she needs to be loved. All right. Let's go to question number 7. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group from Logan City, Australia. I've been with him for just over a year. We met online and he lives an hour and a half away from me. Wow. We are both 20. I've always known that he drinks most nights, but it's just getting too much. We are staying at my parents' house together for a few weeks, and my parents are starting to notice that he drinks every night. We have no money. None of my clothes fit anymore, and I can't buy any new ones. There's other inexpensive things I want, but I can't have them because I know I need to keep the money because we always end up with none. I borrow money from my parents and it ends up getting wasted on drink. It's also making me ill. I find it difficult not to drink when other people around me are drinking. I just don't know what to do. When I try and talk to him about it, he gets sad and says he needs it to sleep. I don't know what to do. What you do is you throw that fish back because that fish is defective. Okay. I don't know how many of you are, about fishing, but they have regulations as to what size the fish can be, and stuff. And during certain seasons, you can't catch certain kinds of fish. If you get on your hook, you got to throw them back. I mean, there's all these rules and stuff. They try to keep the ecosystems in the rivers and the lakes and the little ponds and stuff, balance on, the little fish have a chance to grow up and, lay their first egg season or whatever they're going to do. They try to keep it balanced. So if you have a fish that is not up to par, you're supposed to throw it back in the pond, back in the lake, back in the river where you got it from. This guy is 20 years old and he's already a useless alcoholic drunk bum. What what made you think that this was somebody that you should date? He has no goals, no ambition, no money, and he's a drunk. And if he's that drunk, that the dick can't be that good because he's too drunk. So I'm wondering, your parents need to talk to you or beat your ass or something. Something needs to happen here because this doesn't make any sense. If you were my daughter and you bought some bum like this up in my house, and once I figured out that he was a bum, I tell him, "You son, pack your shit and get the fuck out. You can't stay here." And daughter, if you think that this is really what you want to do, you can go with him. Because one thing I'm not going to do is support two adults in my house that's not contributing nothing and getting money from me to buy liquor. We ain't doing that. So both of you can get the fuck out. She's of some codependent, desperate types. I don't know. There's a lot of girls like this. I just don't understand what what their deal is. What is the purpose of this relationship? What are you getting out of this? I don't understand it. Excuse me. Yeah, when they drink too much, it don't be nothing good happening. Pinot. That is not a wine glass, but you know what? I don't care. Okay, let's move on to question number 8. This is a young lady in the 37 to 45 age group from Orinda, California. Oh, we don't get many letters from there. I'm writing to let you know that your channel has helped me to continue to grow and evolve as a young woman. Oh, thank you. This is a what would Deb do question. I've just been accepted into law school. I also want to buy a home. I have been blessed to be accepted into a school with a payment plan, so there's no need for me to apply for a student loan. That's good. I will also continue working full time. I can pay for my degree myself and graduate debt free. Woo, honey. I was planning to purchase my first home before being accepted into law school. I tend to ask older people for their advice when making big decisions. A friend who's in her late 50s says that I shouldn't buy a house while in law school as it takes away from my monthly income when applying for a home loan. All credit card debt will be paid off in a couple of months. It's only a few $100s per month over the course of the program. Do you know if I have to necessarily disclose that I am in law school and paying my way through when applying for a home loan? This person had a home left to her by her deceased parents. Inheriting a home and purchasing a home are two different things, right? This person also tends to think that she knows more than everybody because she's older. I'm a millennial. I have noticed her life doesn't reflect the advice she gives others, yet has bad credit and bad money management. Any advice you can give is much appreciated as these two steps in my life are huge. Well, I'm going to say this. Usually, you want to be honest about this kind of stuff because you want to get a true ratio of your income to debt, when you're applying for these kind of loans. Um, what you'd want to do, what I would suggest is the money that you're paying for all your credit card debts, whatever that is you pay per month, start socking that into your savings account. If you want to get your savings account up as high as you can. You want to pay off your consumer loans, revolving credit loans. If you have a card note, try to pay that way down or pay that off too. Think of what they're going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at your income versus your outgo. They don't care where it's going. They just care that this is a monthly expense that you have. So that's going to impact how much you qualify for a mortgage. Now, since you're in California, what county is that? Oh, Brenda, is that Contra Costa? I don't know what county that is, but before you do that, look into a home. They have like first time home buyers uh, down payment assistance programs. I know there's one here, but it's only for Alameda County. I don't know what they have out there because I don't think Arenda's in Alameda County. But you want to put some feelers out, and that go on Google, do your best research, call around, call, do whatever you need to do to find these programs. Even if you can only get $10,000 or $20,000, is going to help you out with the down payment. Do all of those things first, so then by the time you apply for your mortgage, you'll get it with no problems. Because people do apply when they have different debt, but a lot of times the amount of money that they qualify is not enough, so they end up having to borrow money from relatives and stuff. It becomes it becomes drama. So if I were you, that's how I would approach it. That's what I do, because you don't want to lie, because then they find out later that's like a fraud, because you're misrepresenting uh you know you're painting a false picture, and it's making the lender take on more risk than they would have had they known the truth. So I mean, if anything goes down, they can charge you with fraud. So don't do that, especially you try to get a career in law. Okay, so you want all your T's crossed and all your I's dotted. You want no shit. Okay, bottom line, you want nothing that's going to come back on you later. So think about that and how you can do that. But that would be my recommendation. Look for them first time home buyer program. They're all over the state. You just have to find one for that, applies to property in your area, and you should be good to go. Okay. So that's a good question. Nice to have a question that's not always about some dusty ass man. Question number 9. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Ottawa, Canada. I met this awesome guy. He's very easy to talk to and really interesting. Most of our talks are flirting / complimenting each other and sweet talking. Is this a red flag or a sign that he could be a player? We've only been talking for 2 weeks and haven't been able to meet because of restrictions. I basically need to know, is flirting and sweet talking early on a red flag? If that's all he talks about, absolutely. It's not only a red flag, it's like maybe 30 or 40 of them, because he has no substance, and he's not trying to let you know him, and he's not trying to get to know you either. He's just trying to sweet talk his way into your panties. That's all. So you're very smart. You're only 18 to 21, and you pick that up. You say he's easy to talk to and you're interesting, but then you come back and say most of our talks are flirting and complimenting each other in sweet talk. So I mean, what are you basing this greatness on? That would be something that you need to ask yourself, because you don't say what the substance of your conversations are, other than flirting and complimenting each other in sweet talk. So I'm trying to figure out how you went from that to awesome. Oh, I met a guy like that at my cousin's house a couple of years ago. Oh my God, this guy was such a fucking dusty. You know, Deb has worked in all kind of industries all over the world, done all kind of shit. And sometimes it amazes me what I know, because I'm an avid reader. I want to read everything. So I know at least a little bit about tons of different things that have no actual bearing on my life. I mean, I'm never going to do these things, but I still know about them. Okay. So I meet this dude, right? And we're having a conversation, and his conversation was like this. He tells me, "Oh, I'm 53." And I'm thinking, okay, a 53-year-old with a couple of kids grown, he's a grandfather. What are you doing? His conversation was this, "Oh, you so beautiful, you so this and that." And I'm like, "I know, this and that, blah, blah." And that was the primary part of his conversation. So finally one day, like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes into the second conversation, I asked him, I said, why that's all you talk about and stuff. I want to hear, something about you. So then he started telling me the kind of work he does, and, CAD cam stuff. But he goes to this whole explanation about computer design and something, and he's making it sound like this big complicated thing. I said, "Oh, so you went to CAD cam design of manufacturing materials and manufacturing facilities. That's what it sounds like. So I just summed it all up right, and I used that lingo. That nigga was quiet as hell. And he's like, "Oh, you know about that?" I said, "I know all kinds of stuff." And so then he realized she ain't stupid, and she could see right through me. And so after that, we didn't talk anymore. My cousin was like, "But he was nice. You should have talked to him." I'm like, "I don't have time for that bullshit. I don't have time for that. I don't." The guy, he lacks substance. And I want to deal with somebody who's going to be real, not who I have to call out constantly like that. And, he's going to be playing them kind of games and trying to, present himself as more than what he is and then get all offended when I shoot his fake pedestal out from under him. And it's like, dude, okay, you don't have to use 900 words to describe it. It's you doing CAD cam. Okay, facilities design. How many words is that? That's 3 words, basically, because CAD/CAM is 1 word. And I'm thank God, 53, and he's still stupid. I, I was so disappointed. Okay, but let's move on. So anyway, let you know that's a man who you don't want to mess with him. You want to put him back in the pond too. Number 10, this is a young lady in the 30 to 35 age group from Bolton, Greater Manchester, England. I really need some advice, please. Our neighbors, I love how they put that you in there, moved in about 4 years ago. We've had balls kicked over our back garden fence every now and then from the beginning, which, although annoying, wasn't really a problem. But now the two boys are older and they kick harder and higher, resulting in many balls coming over each week. Recently, they knocked a plant twice in the same week, destroying half of it, and knocked my wash off the clothesline and dirtied them. I complained to the dad. He apologized and told the boys off. He offered to buy a new plant, but I said not to worry about it. Just stop the balls from coming over. No, you're supposed to say yes. It costs this much. That's what you're supposed to do. The following day, the boys kicked the balls over and it hit me. Oh, hell no. I shouted out to them, "That hit me." And the dad came out. He asked one of the boys to apologize. And that was pretty much that. That same evening, 2 more balls came flying over. One hit my plant again, and the other smacked our bathroom window, leaving a dirty mark. We then also noticed another ball in our front yard, too. Today, the dad asked my 7-year-old to throw the ball back. I think she told him it was in our garden. I went to talk to him about the fact that we now have 5 balls there when his dad snapped. He shouted at me, "What you want me to do? Break their effing legs?" I said, "You do? You what?" He repeated it again and asked what I wanted him to do about it. He then accused me of overreacting like an axe had hit me, not a football. He always swears. Every other word is a swear word, and all of this has felt really aggressive. I basically pointed out that we wanted to use our garden without my property getting destroyed or my family getting hurt. I described that our daughter could be hit and hurt. I got a minute of abuse before his wife told him to go in and calm down as we had a friend and her children with us. The wife came over and she basically agreed and understood where I was coming from and that she would get the boys to keep the football in their garden. Again, I just reiterated that now that he just, oops, sorry, 2 pages here. We didn't want to spoil their playing, but we want to be able to enjoy our garden too. She offered to clean our window in a "you're a bit petty" kind of way, but I declined and again said it's not about that. So the husband came out again, ranting and swearing that I need to get a blind from my bathroom so I don't have to watch my husband and kids pissing, and that I should have some self-respect. Deb, our window is frosted with a light on. You can see a silhouette of someone standing at the toilet, but you can't see anything else. Although we have always got on, they have a very volatile relationship. He called her the C word and told her to go and kill herself in front of the kids and mine, and he drinks every minute he's not at work. Wow. My husband and I are going to put up a 6-foot fence between our properties ASAP, as we really don't want repeats of this. But that means that as their property is lower than ours, the fence will be about 9 feet high on their side. They may moan, they may be glad. Am I being unreasonable or moaning for the sake of moaning? I really felt like he was victim blaming me, but maybe I'm just being overly sensitive. I was shaking at the time as it was so out of the blue, and I've had a headache ever since. Oh, hell no. Girl, you nice, because you know what? I would have told him, okay, the first time, they're little kids, the ball's coming over the fence every now and then. They're older, and okay, by the time that ball hit me or broke my plant or something, I would have said, from now on, every fucking ball that comes in my yard, I'm gonna burst it. You know why? Because it's on my property, so now it belongs to me. So you better make sure if you want to keep your fucking balls, don't put your fucking balls in my yard. Because as soon as I see one, I'm gonna take an axe to it and I'm gonna stab it and I'm gonna fuck it up. Now, you want to see about cussing? I can do that too, motherfucker. Okay. We can both get out here and get real jiggy. But you know, the bottom line is you putting your shit in my yard. So once it's in my yard, it's mine. And you ain't getting it back unless it's in pieces. So there. You should throw them busted balls over the fence, back over the fence a couple of times. They'll be straight and you'll never have another ball in your yard ever again. But see, you don't sound like that kind. You know, you're going to be letting him cuss at you and all this kind of shit. I would have went in my house and got Roscoe or some other kind of weapon and could commence to cocking it and tell him, get the fuck out of my yard and don't you come back over here. Don't you even say another word to me ever as long as you live there. Forget you know me. And like I said, anything that comes from your house to my yard, I'm killing it if it's alive and I'm destroying it if it's not. So just understand that's what we're going to be doing. You know, these are white people. This is some shit. You know, no black person put up this bullshit. Sitting here cussing at me. You done lost your fucking mind. I'm the one who cusses people out around here. Okay, that's my job. You don't get to do it. The fence is a good idea, but I'm telling you, I already know what I'm gonna tell you. Shit, I'm not gonna put up no big expense. How that money I have to pay? No, I'm just gonna tear up your shit. Every time some of your shit lands in my yard, you're gonna get some busted shit back. And your kids crying and stuff. My balls, my balls. Keep your balls over there. You won't have that problem, huh? Notice how easy that problem is to solve. Little fuckers. I'm telling you, they would have got some shit flung back over there. It was deflated with holes in it. You know, the big, like you take a knife and go, it would have been splayed open. I'll flip it back over the wall. Yeah. How you like your ball now? I bet you won't be kicking that bitch nowhere, huh? Although duct tape does work wonders. Oh. Question number 11, female, 21 to 25 from Richmond, Virginia. I need some advice on my boyfriend who isn't working. How you gonna have a boyfriend that don't have no job? He's fired. The second, don't come telling me I got fired. Oh, we're broken up, sir. I'm not supporting you. But you're not gonna hang with a brother. You're not gonna help me out. Nope, I'm sure not. You're broke. You don't have no job. That means you don't have no money. You ain't tapping my pocket. Get the fuck out of here, you broke motherfucker. So anyway, she says, okay, my boyfriend got laid off because of COVID, and it was okay because I was working. But now he just sits around the house. I'm a law student at work, so I'm very busy, and I don't have time to clean very often. It's not that I mind paying all the bills, but now these young girls, fuck is wrong with them? But now I can't even get him to take out the trash or put away the dishes. I feel like every moment I have to myself is spent cleaning the house that he sits in all day. I've tried to be lenient about everything because I know he has depression. And this is hard for everyone, but now I'm really getting frustrated because I don't have help with bills or household chores. I'm even the one who does the grocery shopping because he doesn't want to leave the house. If he doesn't have to, I can see that he's in a funk, but he won't get help so that we can move past this. I'm filled with anxiety that if another shutdown comes, I may lose my job too, and then we'll have nothing. He was nothing like this when he was working. I know men tend to tie a lot of their worth in work, but now he's not even looking for work. See, now. The worst part is that he wants to be a stay-at-home dad when we have kids. I just keep thinking, if you can't even clean a litter box and manage to keep an apartment clean, how are you going to do any of that with children? His solution is to hire a cleaning service. But I just keep thinking that I won't be able to afford it. But until then, definitely can't afford it. And I'm drowning. I don't know what to do. This is what you do. Okay, now, I don't know what they have in, where did she say she was? Oh, you here in the U.S. Okay, you in Richmond, Virginia. Oh, yeah, girl. You go to the Piggly Wiggly, okay, and you go to the section where they have the trash bags, and you get some of them big, hefty construction thickness garbage bags, and then you take them home and you start peeling them off of the roll. And then you tell them, boyfriend, put your shit in these hefty bags with your little homosexual ass and get the fuck out. That's what you need to do. Because, I'm not going to be feeding and clothing you anymore. You need to take all your shit in your hefty bags and then go and move back to your mama's house or over to your best friend's house or live in the park. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. Don't care. But I do know that you're not going to be here. Okay, because I'm not going to be taking care of you anymore. I'm not going to be cleaning up after you like I'm your mother, and I have no desire to have children and be a working mother with a stay-at-home father who is as useless as you. Get out. Thank God you don't have any kids with him. At least you dodged that bullet. Honey, hefty bags, moving niggas since 1966. I'm trying to tell you, they my favorite thing. They need to sponsor my show because I love some hefty bags. Hefty bags be having it going on. 99%. Yeah, Piggly Wiggly, honey. I don't know. They used to sue. They was a big chain down in the southern states of the USA. I see what Michelle typed is funny. But Hunty. Yes, it is grocery store chain, Sue. Sue is in Canada, so she don't know nothing about the Piggly Wiggly. But yeah, girl, that is a chain. I remember when I was in Houston, I heard about Piggly Wigglies, and I was like, "What? What did you just say?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's a real store." I thought that was the most hilarious thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, they in the South. Yeah, I was in Texas and I heard about them. They didn't have them in Texas, but over. But I heard about Piggly Wigglies, from people on the radio and the newspaper and stuff, and I was just amazed and quite amused, and I never forgot that name. Okay, let's move on to question number 12. We got 25 advice questions tonight with one bonus question. Okay. Oh, you went to one in South Carolina? See, I'm so stupid because I would have to do a selfie with me in front of the sign that said Piggly Wiggly. 'Cause, in California we don't have such things, and so that would have been fodder for laughter for months. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this guy's in a 55 to 60 age group from Austin, Texas. Here, this is the problem. My son is in serious financial trouble, and I don't know how to offer help or if I should even bother. Do I save him or let him figure it out on his own? I've got quite a nest egg from a tech business I created and sold some years ago for millions. I've invested it well and seen it multiply many times. Oh, so he got multiple millions now. I am now 58 years old and love my son who's 30. However, we don't have the best relationship. He never reaches out, rarely returns my call, and has pushed me away. And I think it has to do with the mess he's in. I believe he's in serious financial trouble. He seems so stressed all the time, and I know him and his wife are spenders. In the last 2 years, they have made several large purchases that people their age really shouldn't have money for. This includes a few luxurious vacations, vehicles, a boat, a cabin, and a pool. They aren't doctors. They both work regular jobs that make okay money, but not enough for the lifestyle they're trying to float. The spending never stops. Everything is paid with credit. On top of this, they have 3 children under the age of 10. Hmm. I know he needs help, or at least I'm 95% sure he needs help, but our relationship is strained, so I don't know how to offer help without making things worse. Do I just offer to write a check for 100,000 and tell him that it's an early inheritance with the hope he uses to pay off his debts and change his ways, or do I ask if he needs help? I don't want to offend him. How do I help him? For what it's worth, my relationship with my other 2 sons is good, so please don't assume that I'm a jerk. I'm not perfect, but I'm not an abusive fool or anything. I'm not trying to buy my son's love either. I know and understand that he just doesn't like me. I also realize if I bail him out, he will likely still treat me the same, but at least he wouldn't be struggling. He is my son, and I want him to be happy. Deb, it kills me to see him become a shell of his former self, and I strongly believe a lot of this issue is tied to him being in debt up to his eyeballs. Who can be fully happy when they are drowning in debt? What do you think I should do? I think you should refer him to a bankruptcy attorney. That's what you should do. Let me tell you what you don't want to do. You don't want to start writing checks for people who have immaturely gotten them. I could see it like I could see you writing a check if the situation were like, say they had a kid that was special needs and the kid ran up a big medical bill and they were struggling trying to pay for all the treatments the child needed and special, I don't know, like wheelchairs or something and retrofitting the room for the kid with ramps and all this kind of stuff, to make it like disability friendly or whatever they call it, accessible. I could see you writing a check for something like that. I'd be 150% in your corner and be wondering what took you so fucking long. Okay. But this is not that situation. This is 2 healthy people that are intentionally living beyond their means. I don't know who they think they're impressing, but one thing that you do not want to do is swoop in and try to save them from themselves. These are people that you need to sit back and let hit bottom. Okay. Now, what I would recommend that you do. So he got three little kids. Obviously, with him living this way, he's not putting any money away from them kids. See your attorney and set up three trusts for your grandchildren and any other grandchildren you have. You got to make it all the same for all of them. Put together some trusts for, I don't know. Say you was willing to write a check for 150,000. Say, I don't know, 200,000 for each kid and for college. And then with it maturing and interest and all the stuff, over the years, by the time they get ready to use it, it'll be 250 or something like that. That should be get them a good start for paying for college and helping them pay even for private college. But that's what you should do. You can offer that. Do you tell your son that you've done that? No, you don't. You just do it. And then when they get themselves, when they fall flat on their face, because you got to look at this. These things that they have are all things that they can sell and get money. The boat, they can sell that. Extra vehicles, they only need one, maybe two, if they, your son works someplace and she works someplace else. Okay, so two cars, what you need, and they don't have to be fancy. They can be Hondas, little economy cars. A cabin, sell it. Okay, you can't afford it. You don't need it. And a pool. I mean, I guess once it's dug, there's not too much you can do about that. But there are some certain other things. If essentially they bought fancy decorations, all this kind of stuff, they can sell those things and they can get those things, get that cash in. But I would recommend them to a good bankruptcy attorney and call it a day. Don't you do nothing else. He's gonna have to learn this lesson the hard way. Him and his crazy wife spending all that money for bullshit. See, I have a horror of debt. I just can't stand it. I have one credit card and the maximum amount I have on it is $2,000 at any time. And that's the most I do. And it's usually about half of that. I just don't, I pay cash. I don't want debt. I don't like debt. My car, I don't have no car note. I just don't want to have debt. It just makes me, I can't sleep. So I couldn't live this lifestyle. Ooh, okay, this is a female. This question 13, female, 26 to 29 from Bowling Green, Kentucky. My boyfriend is so upset and slash disappointed with me since I don't know how to be more feminine, especially with my clothes. I don't know how to coordinate an outfit that fits me well. I don't know how to coordinate clothes, period. I don't know how to look like the woman that I am. Jesus, I am 27 years old and I feel I should know better than this. I am so sad. I do want that too. Not only for him, but even more for me. An outfit can give you confidence, and I need that. I'm 5'4" and chubby. I have too much tummy and boobs. I want to add that my boyfriend is great, but for him, this thing is a turnoff, and I can understand that because I feel it too. I need the confidence that comes with the look. The thing is really difficult for me. I cried a lot about it, and I need advices and tips. Hmm. Okay. My first thought is okay, but this is hard because you seem to be, buying into this, and that is something that you want as well. I mean, he's saying it, but the way that you make it sound like this is something that you really would want to do, regardless of his position. So, going on that, I'm going to say this: go to one of the major, department stores. They have people who are personal shoppers and stylists and stuff like that. Tell them that you need help picking some outfits. Now, I don't know what your financial situation is, but you can afford, try to afford to be able to buy at least one thing, like a blouse, a sweater, a skirt, and pants, maybe something like that. Okay, in this new look, and you can kind of mix and match those things. Until you'll get an idea of what kind of things look good on you, because they're going to pull stuff and you can try it on in the store and see what it looks like. And if it's going to give you that vision that you want, and this is a professional person, they're trained to do this, that will be making these recommendations for you. Are you always going to love what they pick? No, because I use one at Macy's and I like, well, I like a couple of things she picked, but I'm not really a frilly kind of person. But she kept wanting to put me in this frilly shit. And I'm like, I'm not wearing no goddamn ruffles. Get out of here with that. I like a tailored, more clean look. And so that didn't work too well. I mean, I got a couple of pieces, but that's the whole point of trying the things on, because they're going to make a recommendation, but you have to like it. So, but at least it would give you a start, right? Then you can go to, like, once you get an idea what looks good on you and what kind of stuff is in style and the colors and stuff, you can go to a less expensive store like Ross Dress for Less or something, and find, similar kinds of things for half the price. Now, as far as him being disappointed with you, that's the part that's giving me trouble. Because I'm like, it's great that you want to do this for you, but he has no right to be upset at you because you don't know what to do. It's not like you telling him you're not doing it. You don't know what to do. So he doesn't have the right to be upset and disappointed in you about anything. Okay. That's why this question is kind of hard, because my immediate response is to get rid of him, and then your problem would go away. At least that part. You don't have to be worried about him. Just tell him, go find somebody that's this person that you want, motherfucker, because that's not me. But you do, like I said, you do seem to want to do better for yourself. And so that would be, one way to do it. The other thing that you could do, they have wonderful videos on exercises right here on YouTube. You can get in front of your TV, and you make clear space and do the exercises with the instructor on the video. You don't have to belong to a gym. You don't have to ever leave your house. And you can get a fabulous workout with weights or just cardio right in your living room, den, family room, wherever, bedroom, whatever you got. And so, start working on losing this belly and reducing your body fat. There's ideas about, eating and all this kind of stuff that you can adopt too. Never be on a diet though. There's just certain things that you can change. Like if you're Bowling Green, Kentucky, I don't know what you eat down there, like, drinking sodas and that sweet tea and shit like that. No, your little ass is only going to drink water. That's what you get to drink. And just that alone, you can, lose 5 pounds every time you turn around, because you won't be drinking all that extra sugar. Sweet tea is terrible. Tastes good though, but ooh wee. Free 24-hour fitness has free live videos too. Do you have to be a member? I don't know. The stuff I'm talking about is online, and it's right here on YouTube, and it's free as hell. And these people, they're professionals. So anyway, you have options. You can check and see what they got on 24-hour fitness. Kaiser, my health insurance company, they have exercise videos and nutrition plans and all kinds of stuff free on their website, free. Or you can make an appointment to see a dietitian. I mean, there's so many things that you could do to change this. You don't have to be depressed about it, and you don't have to have a boyfriend sitting in your ear making you feel worse. You can get rid of them. Let's move on. Question number 14, female, 26 to 29, from Milpitas, California. I feel like I can't really talk to anyone about this, so I decided to write to you. I work with someone who has a long-term girlfriend, and I have developed feelings towards him, lustful feelings. We definitely do some light, harmless flirting, which I don't see a problem with. But now I'm starting to get very intense eggplanty feelings that I want to act on. But no, I shouldn't, because I really don't want to be a home wrecker. I crept on his very cute girlfriend's Instagram to make myself feel guilty. I am really against cheating. I don't want it to get to that point, and I wouldn't want to be in an actual relationship with him. Are these common feelings? What should I do to stop having these feelings? You should realize that this is somebody that has a girlfriend, okay? And you want to call yourself, you don't want to be a home wrecker. Let me explain something to you. Uh, they're just boyfriend or girlfriend, so you can't wreck no home. Can you not wreck a home because they're not married? That term is for husbands and wives. It doesn't apply to people who are just dating or fucking and baby mamas and daddies. You can't be a home wrecker for some motherfuckers who's not married. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you still can't be a home wrecker, because unless he forgot that he has a relationship over there, then why are you trying to assume responsibility for that? That's his job to remember that he's got a woman. That's nobody else's job on this planet but his. So, you want to assume all this responsibility. It doesn't matter if you lay down on the floor with him butt naked, on the front of him butt naked. He is supposed to turn around and take his ass home. That's his job. Okay. That's how I feel about it. Because if it was my man and some bullshit like that went down, you think I'd be wanting to beat up the other woman? No, I'm going to kick your ass because you're the one that I had the commitment with, that I'm married to. This is between you and me. Nobody stood up there and took them vows with you, clown. And so you are gonna be you and my shit. You and my shit radar right now. So this whole thing is, are these common feelings? I don't know. I mean, I know women get crushes of all ages, you know, but you don't need to act on it. And see, the main thing is what you don't know. You do all this flirting and all this kind of stuff. You don't know what kind of person his girlfriend is or what kind of friends she has. You're playing a dangerous game. Because see, if he had a girlfriend like me and he was like, this girl's after me, this and that, and blah, 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 well, it's going to cause some issues. And if you have somebody who's really crazy, like one of my cousins, she is insane about her husband. She would drive to your job or your work or wherever he knows where to find you and commence to beating your ass. So it's the kind of thing because she would feel like you was, trying to mess up her with her situation or disrespecting her, especially because you know about her. So it's not like you didn't know he had a girlfriend, And so that's why you would get your ass kicked. So you have to be very careful with this kind of stuff because every woman is not wrapped too tight. Some of them are kind of crazy when it comes to their men, you know. They say it's not common. I don't think, I mean, I know women have, fantasies. Like I said, fantasies and crushes and stuff. But, um, with the flirting and stuff, he's a willing participant in that part, but that might be all he wants to do. He's not trying to go no further because he knows his girlfriend is crazy too. And he's like, I'm not trying to risk my life. I'll give my little flirt on or something, but that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to take my ass home. Right. Okay. Number 15. This is a young man, 22 to 26 from Peoria, Illinois. My girlfriend thinks it's weird for me to knock or let her know I'm about to enter a room if she's changing. The other day she was changing. I knocked to come in and she asked me why I knock if I've seen her undressed plenty of times. I told her it's a form of respect for her privacy and it's also a lifelong habit. While I have three other siblings, two of them are girls, and we all shared a bedroom when we were younger. She thinks it's weird and annoying that I have to knock every single time when she's showering or in the bedroom. It's a hard habit to break while I have caught myself doing it. I told her just leave the door open if she's changing, but she says she wants to get the habit out of me, but I don't know. Any advice to be accepted? Tell her that you're not going to do anything with that habit because of this. You grew up with sisters, you grew up with a mother, and you at some point are going to be a man with daughters. So tell her you don't want to break that habit of just bursting into a room where there's a woman changing clothes. You want your daughters to have the same respect that you gave your sisters, the same respect that you gave your mother. If she doesn't like it, the person who needs to change is her. Okay. You are showing her respect. If she doesn't like that, then she could do what you said and just leave the door open. And then you don't have to knock because there will be no reason to, because the door will be open. So the solution to her getting upset is perfectly in her hands. You continue to knock, wear her fucking ass out until she leaves that door open. You know what I mean? No, I mean, it's true. I mean, he just said right here he had two sisters and they all had to share a room, which a lot of people do because they don't have the money for, separate 3 or 4 bedroom place. They don't have that kind of money. And so all the kids are in one room and the parents are in another room. Sometimes, if they have a dinner or something, they might kind of convert it if they have too many kids. But it's the kind of thing like, this is a well-raised young man who understands privacy and modesty for females. I don't see anything wrong, dude. You 100% right. And like I said, just remind her at some point you're going to be a father, and there's a high likelihood that you'll be a father of daughters. And this is a habit that you not only want to maintain, but you want to teach any sons that you have to do the same thing. And so tell her that the person who's weird here is her, not anyone else, because she doesn't have that, that sense of boundaries and privacy and stuff like that. So I would fuck with her. Be like, so did your daddy just bust in your room when you was changing? What was that all about? Did your mother ever jack him up? Was he looking at your titties and shit? Really? Is that what happened in your house? That's kind of odd. I don't know. I would be messing with her. If she's trying to make you feel like something's wrong with you, I would flip that shit around. It's like, no, the person who's weird is you, chick. Let's move on. Question number 16, female, 26 to 29, from Fremont, California. I want to start with this. I've always loved dogs and I've never hurt her. She's a small Pomeranian mix and I hate her personality. She's needy, dirty, and annoying. Hmm. So this is an advice question about a dog. Okay. Let me just prepare my mind. We also have a cat that I adore because she's clean and not as needed. When my boyfriend and I started dating over a year ago, she would pee on doggy pads and shit on the bedroom carpet, and he would let her sleep all over his pillows. In his defense, he has two jobs and was always busy, so he didn't have much time to take her out. But it was extremely gross to me, so I make sure to always take her out to do her business and never let her on the bed since I've moved in with him. You might think that I would love to learn to love her after all this time, right? Nope. I hate her personality. She ate a baby cat that my boyfriend was taking care of a while ago. What size are Pomeranians? Aren't those little? I could swear I think my cousin has a Pomeranian. That little dog is named Gucci. I think Gucci's a Pomeranian. Okay. But it didn't really start hating her until she beat up our cat because she was jealous of her. She used to claim the bed, and when I wouldn't let her on it anymore, she started resenting the cat, and she wanted to show dominance. As much as I try to train her, we simply forgot to take her out at night sometimes, so she sits on her carpet. When we leave her in her crate, she can hold it in for hours. So why can't she hold it in when we don't take her out for a few hours? As I'm typing this, I'm starting to think I just don't like dogs. They're dirty and disgusting. She literally chews my boyfriend's underwear and socks until they rip. Not to mention that she rolls herself around filth outside. Google why dogs roll around grass. No, thank you. I grew up with dogs when I was younger and I loved them, but I think that changed when we started to only have cats in the house. They're way less needy and just as sweet. My boyfriend doesn't know how I feel about her because it would hurt him. He loves her too much, probably because he doesn't take care of her like I do. I think I just wanted to rant. If you or the squad has advice for me, please comment. Okay, y'all know my solution. Yellowstone National Park, Clear Lake, California. That dog would take a road trip and never come back. He'd be like, "Oh, what happened to Shishi or whatever the dog's fucking name is? I don't know. I let her out. We're taking a walk and she dragged away from the leash and then she went running and I couldn't catch her. I don't know where she went." That dog would be in the forest getting munched by a fucking bear. She think it's so much fun to be munching on people's kittens and stuff. Let's see how you like it when it's something bigger than you and you the snack. Yeah, this dog, this dog would be in the woods. Now, because he could go to the shelter and he could get her back. We don't want to do that. He would go to the shelter and he would get her back. This dog would be lost in nature. She's out. She's a vicious little beast. She can fend for herself. She all right. She know how to snack on stuff. She'll be fine hunting and living in the wild. She'll do just fine. That's where she would be if it was me. I'm just saying, I'm not saying I recommend that path to everyone, but I know me. I'll be looking at that dog and be like, "Puppy, we going on a trip tomorrow. Soon as she said he work a lot. Soon as he leaves for work, we going on a trip. That's what we gonna do." Question number 17, female 18 to 21 from Vancouver, Washington. Hi there, Deb and Candace. Thank you for choosing my letter. My boyfriend's 23 and he moved out of state for grad school. He decided to come back this summer, though, since all his friends and family are here. And we happily opened our homes for him to stay with us for free. I'm a primary home provider and made all the necessary room for him to be comfortable and to have a genuine home during his stay. I pay all of the bills, buy the groceries, and cook for him every day. Since he hates working and is only here for the summer, he refused to get a job. Oh, did he now? His family, friends, and me all work, all of us except for him. He repeatedly states that no one cares about him and everybody lets him down because we all, quote, work too much. I work 25 hours a week, and anytime he is not with his friends, he is with me. I'm an art student trying to open up an online shop and prepare for grad school applications, and I have accomplished nothing this summer. He constantly guilts me and complains that I work too much, even though I provide for us and pay for most of our outings. He guilts me about eggplant, too, and I agreed to open up our relationship so we can date other people and his physical needs will be met. I have hundreds of dollars of credit card debt, but he doesn't care. He insists that my employers don't care about me and mistreat me. I just got a promotion and a raise, and that I should work less to hang out with him and go on trips with him. I'm about to drop around $1,200 and visit him for a week after he returns to his state to move into his new apartment. That's still not enough. I feel incredibly unappreciated and taken advantage of. My mom, best friends, and his parents have all noticed and pointed out his behavior, but he is so insistent that he has been wrong. Please help me figure this out. Get rid of this dusty ass. Get first of all, do you say you about to drop $1,200? Don't do that. You need to pay that $1,200 on your credit card that you got all this debt on. Be smart about your money. You wasting all this money in interest, and you're gonna have $1,200 to spend on some bullshit to go see a bullshit motherfucker. You pay your credit card debt with that $1,200, and if there's anything left, you put it in your savings account and wait because you get ready to go to grad school because you're gonna need it. What is wrong with you? This guy is another bum. I'm like, what in the world were you thinking? And doing all this cooking and paying bills and doing all this stuff. You never help a man. When do you young girls, when are you going to get this? Through your thick skulls. You don't take care of men. You don't help them. Okay, he don't have no food. He'll figure it out. Shit, he could go up there with that little Pomeranian, and they could both be, they could be his hunting dog, and they can, be living in the wild and shit, and making it happen, making the magic happen. Eat squirrels and raccoons and shit. I wish I would take care of a man. Like, I can't even imagine what that feels like. That's just never gonna happen. And then he gonna guilt you about eggplants too. So you supposed to tell him, you know what, men that don't have no job and don't want to work and stuff, they don't get no pussy. Not for me. So that's what you want. You need to get out of my house, get out of my parents' house because you're not contributing anything and all you're doing is being a leech. Get out. Don't come back, and I'm not coming to see you either. If you were my daughter, I'd be kicking your ass and I'd be kicking this fool up out my house. It's like you little bum. You was sitting around here talking about you not gonna work. My daughter, I don't even understand this kind of stuff. And you're gonna spend $1,200. You know when you go there, he gonna be knee deep in your pocket because he gonna need dishes and he gonna need this and he gonna need that, and you're gonna feel obligated to buy it for him. Question 18, female, 26 to 29, from Toledo, Ohio. My boyfriend broke a boundary of mine, and I'm upset. I ended the relationship. We were together for a year and a half. A couple of years ago, a couple of months ago, my boyfriend decided to try herbs with his friend. He didn't tell me about it until a couple of days later. I got upset and ended the relationship as A, my boyfriend has a habit of getting easily dependent due to his ADHD, and B, he had agreed and told me that he would never do these kinds of things and they were off limit. Then he randomly came to me and told me he tried it since his friend offered. He didn't tell me at the time since he didn't have cell service, so he says. I ended the relationship and we got back together a week later. We decided to get back, and I explained that if it happened again, I'd leave for good and that any substances were a boundary. He understood and agreed. I literally have a text message from him saying, I won't do that stuff again or any substances. But today I found out that he did some edibles since his friends offered during their vacation. He took 100 milligrams. His excuse was that his back was peeling from the sun and he was in a lot of pain. He again didn't have cell service. He didn't tell me until 2 weeks after, only because I asked and because he said he knew I'd get upset and wanted to explain himself, and that he couldn't until today because I was also out of the country. I ended the relationship again. There have been so many issues with him breaking boundaries and having a justifiable reason for it. I'm already struggling to trust him due to something else he did a couple of months ago that he lied to my face about. I'm obviously very hurt because I loved him a lot. He is now angry and saying that I'm ended it over something stupid and saying he never ended for such a quote small reason. Am I right to have this position and break it up? Absolutely. Because you want to explain to him if you talk to him again, this isn't about that. It is about you making me a promise and not following through. It is about me not being able to trust you that what you say is really going to happen. It's about me not being able to believe that you're the man that you're telling me that you are. It's about me having someone who I have to feel so uncomfortable with and watch every move you say and who's getting lying to me and playing all these kind of games with my head. That's why we're breaking up. It doesn't have to do, it's not directly, because of the earth, because it could be anything. It's his behavior that you are recognizing is the fault here. And that's why you don't want to be with him. That's what you have to explain to him, because he's just, trying to play like he's stupid and being, stuck on the minutia instead of looking at the big picture. So that's what you want to explain to him, and just tell him that, you're done. You're in the 26 to 29 age group. You went with this fool a year and a half. That's long enough. That's long enough. And some people, don't really have a problem with it. I mean, but that's not you. Like, some people smoke and they don't have a problem with their partner smoking, like, cigarettes, um, and cigars, pipes, whatever. But that's not you. Some people don't drink and they don't want a partner that drinks. And if the partner's sneaking liquor, they want to break up. But that's not you. Do you see what I mean? Some people have, different things that they want their partner to have or not have, or do or not do. That is their bottom line. And so for you, it was this lying about, with these substances. And that's your bottom line, and you have every right to have it. Okay. Other people are going to have a different one, and that's fine for them. But this is yours, you that we're talking about right now. And this is your bottom line, and you are entitled to have it the way you want it, and get rid of any man who's going to lie to you about it. And there you go. You guys having fun over there in the chat room? Yep. That's right, STL. You can't trust him. He's just terrible. Okay, let's move on to question 19. This is a young man in the 30 to 35 age group from Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a 30-year-old guy. I'm in a relationship with a girl who's the same age as me. We've been together for 3 years now. Everything is great, and we're currently looking at buying a house together. Stupid dummies. I'm worried that we have differing opinions about marriage. I have never wanted to get married. I've always made this clear. She has always been kind of wishy-washy about it, and I didn't think it was a big deal until a couple of times recently that she has made comments about wanting to get married. I explained to her that I don't really understand the concept of marriage. In my opinion, I don't see the point in spending tens of thousands of dollars on a wedding day and entering a legal contract, which makes things very tricky if anyone was to go wrong in a relationship. And following the wedding, nothing is different about the day-to-day life of the relationship between the married and not married. So what's the point? Perhaps I'm hoping for someone to explain the concept to me. Every time I've asked people why they want to get married, including several of my friends who are married, I've only heard meaningless answers back like, it's nice, or I don't really know, we just wanted to do it. It's not the commitment that I'm worried about. I am very happy to stay with this girl forever and to enter into a mortgage with her, which would tie us together financially for many years and put us hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. To me, that is a far bigger commitment than the concept of a marriage. To be honest, I think I'll struggle to come around to the idea of wanting to get married. I've always felt this way about it. I feel like I want to convince her that we don't need to get married. But equally, if that's what she wants, then I don't really want to be the guy that's ruining it for her. I know we need to iron this out before signing a mortgage, but I feel it's a rock between a rock and a hard place, and I don't want to lose her. Any of your ladies' thoughts are appreciated. Oh, and no offense meant to anyone who is married. You do you. And then he put a smiley face. Okay. Marriage, especially if you plan to have children, is the structure that protects them legally and socially. A lot of things come with that are instant protections for the child and your mate, including, like Social Security payments and, insurances and stuff like that. I mean, although you can designate really to anyone, there are certain things, there's certain rights that would come as next of kin if you are married. Otherwise, it just goes into the pot where all your relatives can fight over their sharing. So, because you're not married to anybody, and it doesn't even matter if she bought that house with you, or y'all have vehicles that you purchased together, whatever. The family, your family, usually it's the dude's family, is the one that rolls in and takes everything. And the person that's, because you're not married, she would have no recourse, because they would say it was yours and that they're entitled to it because they're next of kin, right? Okay, this is the issue, though. You say you don't understand why people want to get married. I want to know why you think they shouldn't. What is it that you have against it? You want to have this woman, but you want to keep her, but you don't want to be married to her. And she wants to be married because that's going to make her feel secure. You guys have the same last name and her kids have the same last name. You be Mr. and Mrs. So there's a lot of social, social things tied to that versus just being a baby mama. What you have to do, sir, is think about, how is being married going to hurt you? If it's going to make the woman that you love happy and she's going to feel more secure, how do you feel that you're going to personally suffer if you're married to her? Because like you said, the day-to-day is not going to change. So if the day-to-day is not going to change and you recognize that, why can't you be married? See, you probably didn't expect nobody to flip that shit around on you, did you? But see, Deborah Cooper was not born yesterday, and I'm a wordsmith. So I'm going to take what you say, I'm going to use it against you. Because that's what you said. I just read it. You wrote it in your letter. I don't see what's going to change the day to day. I don't know. So yeah, it's not going to change the day to day. Then you could be married then, because it ain't going to hurt you and it ain't going to change shit, right? So you could be married just as easily as you could stay single. So your argument there just got shot down, home skillet. You have to come up with something else. But if I were her, I wouldn't buy shit with you. I'm like buying a pack of gum with you until you marry me, if that's what I wanted. You wouldn't get the benefits of having a wife and you don't have, you ain't tied to me legally. That's not going to happen. That's how I do things. Let's move on. Question number 20. Young lady in the 21 to 25 age group from Los Angeles. Yesterday, my 25-year-old boyfriend asked me to give him a BJ. I am 23 and we've been dating for 2 years. I agreed, but I told him not to finish in my mouth. He has been asking me lately if he could do that, but I have told him more than once that I am not cool with it. However, yesterday he did it anyway. Usually he tells me when he is about to finish and then, pulls out. But this time he said nothing and released in my mouth. I was mad as hell and immediately went to spit it out. He apologized but said he doesn't understand why I'm so mad. I asked him if he did it on purpose and he said yes. He admitted, wow, that he did it because he felt I was saying no because I thought him doing that would be disgusting and that if I actually experienced it, I would realize that it wasn't so bad. Just to clarify, I don't think it's disgusting. It's just not something I enjoy. Looking back into our relationship, he is a great guy, but he definitely has issues with not having his way and taking my annoyances lightly. But it used to be little annoying things. For example, he would go out and buy 2 drinks for himself, for one for me and one for himself. And he would drink his and later drink mine, even when he knows I kept it for later. I've told him before that it's annoying, but he laughs it off and still does it to this day. Really? Huh. After that, I packed up my stuff and left his house. I haven't picked up his call since, and I'm honestly thinking of ending things. He has been apologizing and making it sound ridiculous that I want to end a 2-year relationship over this. But I'm so angry and I feel violated. Ladies of the squad, do you think I'm overreacting? How would you handle this if it were you, Auntie? Oh, yeah, the same thing. Because he's basically, you set up a boundary. Okay, this was your boundary, and he just decided he didn't want to pay no attention to it, and he's gonna do what the fuck he want to do. So he's gonna force you into doing something like that, which essentially is a sexual assault. Because you said no to this particular act, and he did it anyway. That is a sexual assault under the law. I hate to tell you this, but that's what that is. What he just did to you, that's what that is. So, and he fully knew that you didn't want to do it, but he did it anyway. And his excuse is, well, it's not that bad. And I just want to force you to do it so you can see that it wasn't that bad. But of course, you're discussing with him. Then his other behaviors of, drinking up your stuff and stuff like this guy has a problem with your boundaries and treating you properly when you say what you want for yourself or set, things in place for yourself. He does what he wants to do. Now, this thing that would happen with the drink, see, for me, that's enough to break up right there because I know what that means. This and because to say, oh no, I'm sorry, baby, I was real thirsty. Let me run to the store and get a couple of more. That would be the only response that would save him. This laughing thing, that we would have broke up on the spot, because I know what that means. It means you don't give a fuck about me. You're gonna do what you want to do at my expense, and you're gonna treat me any old kind of way. And no matter how uncomfortable I am, how much I suffer, how much the stuff that I want for myself, you're gonna just take it. You're just gonna make me do. You're gonna force me to do without, or force things on me that you want, like I'm just nothing. That's what this means. Okay, and you're saying he's a good guy. Where's the good part at? Your standards are very, very low. You did good to get out. Really think hard about this, because the stuff you shared here, it shows a pattern of how he treats you very callously. And a lot of people be like, well, but it's just, those are just little things. It's not the little things. It's the attitude behind the things. That's the part you guys got to look at, the big picture. You got a man who you say you want certain things for your life. You have certain things for yourself. He had an equal thing, but he's going to use his and yours too, and then just laugh at you. So you basically have to suffer and going out while he's had two. You get nothing. See, that wouldn't work for me. That wouldn't work for me. Like I said, the only way that would have worked is he's like got my shit in his hand and he's on his way to the store to get some more. Babe, I'm just thirsty right now, but I'm headed out right now. I'm going to the store to get some more. I'll be back in 10. Okay, I can wait 10 minutes. But you know what? Don't make this shit a habit, a pattern, because then we're going to have a problem. Because what if I was headed in the kitchen right then to get my drink out the refrigerator while you walking past me drinking it. Now I got to wait 10 minutes. See, knowing me, that would piss me off too. Yeah, I don't know. This guy, he's a piece of work. I would be done with him. This wouldn't work for me. Question number 21, female, 25 to 29, from Grand Rapids, Michigan. 2 years ago, I met a man who on paper seemed super different than me, but pretty quickly I realized that despite our differences, he was the fit that I had been looking for. After a month and a half of very intense dating, he got a job offer and moved away, 7.5 hour drive. On and off for the following 2 years, he strung me along with plans to meet up. Weekends away, flirty and sexy texts, and he's always has an excuse not to actually meet up in person. Hmm. Part of me completely gave up hope when he started dating a woman 11 months ago. I've intermittently withdrawn contact, consciously transitioned to friends, always vulnerable to being sucked back in by his flirtations or attention. We recently sexy flirted. He initiated and I did engage, ending with me stopping it, doing to be inappropriate. I found out 2 weeks afterward that he proposed to his girlfriend. I'm feeling a little bit crushed and ultimately feeling like closing this chapter is a good thing. Any advice? You should have closed a long time ago. Once you dated for a month and a half and then he moved away. Once he moved away, that was it. Okay. And then you say he strung me along with plans to meet up and this and that, but he always had an excuse not to actually meet up in person. You did that for 2 years. I can't blame him for that. You were stupid. Because he's going to do it. He's just testing you to see when you're going to grow a spine and have some damn boundaries and some sense. So you let some man play you like that with promises and hints and games and flirtation for 2 years, and then you want to tell me that you're feeling crushed and that if closing the chapter, you feel like closing the chapter is a good thing. You should have done that the second he moved away. Okay, well, I don't do long distance, so good luck, deuces. 7.5 hours away. That's like from here to LA. Actually, because driving my brother's, what was that car he had? It was a Toyota Supra. My brother had a Toyota Supra. And we used to get to LA from here. He lived in San Jose. And we would get to San Jose, from San Jose at his house down to LA in 5 hours in that damn car. And that's like a 600-mile. There's 600 miles between here and LA. That car could go. I've never seen anything that could go so fast. That was like like a regular car off the floor. Not souped up or nothing. That's like a man, and it would just get low to the ground like this and just fly. It was unbelievable. But yeah, that's about the distance from here, the Bay, Oakland area to Los Angeles. It's about 7.5 hour drive, 8 hours, something like that. if you go to speed limit. So, I'm going to put this on you. You made a bunch of stupid decisions and you got yourself into this trap. Now it's up to you to get yourself out. And you're right. It's time to close that door and move on. Question 22, female 30 to 35 from Buffalo, New York. I feel like my friend betrayed me and I need to run this by you for advice on how to handle it. We are both 34 and have been, quote, friends for 10 years. She confided in me as much as I confided in her about our relationship problems. However, she is very insecure and possessive of her then boyfriend, now husband. I was always on tiptoe when we had date nights as couples, like not wearing fancy dresses, not talking too long with her husband, always staying by my husband's side. I am also the one who helped them reconcile when they argued. But recently, she kept telling me that women want to steal her man, and especially those that are similar to me. And she put question marks in parentheses. The last straw was when I needed to finish a very important project and I didn't reply to her wedding announcement the way she wanted. Instead of talking things out with me, she called me on social media as narcissistic and trashed on my upbringing. Wow. She then removed my contact from all her social media profiles, so I didn't have a chance to make sense of what was going on. Probably blocked my number as well, but I was too mad to check. I was caught by surprise that she's a very successful and confident woman. Then she met her man and acts like he's the most eligible bachelor on the planet, like every woman wants him. I am sad that she's losing herself and then taking it out on me. How can you cope with all these dramas? I don't cope with shit like that. You see, my thing is this: by the time I, was friends with somebody and I noticed I had to feel like I had to go through all them kind of changes just to be around her, tiptoeing and not wearing the dresses I want to wear so she won't get mad, think I'm trying to come on to her husband or something. Maybe I want to look good for my man because my man is the one here too. Okay, I'm not worried about your motherfucker. That's on you. I'm looking cute for my husband. Okay, because I want him to be all excited and saying, "Ooh, my wife looks delicious. I'm gonna take her home and tear that shit up." That's what I'm looking for. So I don't really give a fuck about what your husband and what you and him think about what I look like. I'm This is the fish I'm after right here. I want him to be staring at me all night with like a little corner of drool coming down from his mouth. That's what I want. So what this thing here, just her that part alone would have made me cut ties with her. I don't do jealous bitch shit. I just don't. And she would have acted like that, and I would have said, "You just want insecure, jealous little heifer. I don't have time for this bullshit. Don't call me no more. Just leave me out of your drama." I mean, I don't know what you want from me because you wrote me. You know I am. This is some stuff I'm just not gonna be dealing with this crazy stuff like this. Little jealous, insecure bitches. I just don't have that kind of time. So I'm going to tell you. Oh yeah, my shirt. You guys like to know what my shirt says? My shirt says, "I got so much procrastinating done today." It's true because I had all kind of stuff I was supposed to be doing. I don't know. I just can't get my shit together. But anyway, question number 23. This is a female, 18 to 21 age group from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Do you have any advice for somebody to become more confident in understanding and accepting their deal breakers? I am in a difficult position where me and my boyfriend are in a split because we decided on deal breakers at the side of our relationship and he has done them all. I am 21 and he is 26, if that matters. Now, mind you, I'm not perfect. And now that I did push his buttons, but since she must mean know that I did push his button. But since we are thinking about kids, I wanted to go to counseling before we started trying, which is what we agreed that we would do if one of us broke the deal breaker. And now he won't go and says he would rather break up than go. He tells me he loves me and wants us to stay together, but he won't go. And I'm sure how confident that I am if these are honestly my deal breakers, since everything else in our relationship is amazing. So, how do you know? I'm in therapy and my counselor says it will just come, but I honestly don't feel that way. How do you ladies, and I guess the guys too, come up with your deal breakers, and how do you know when it's enough? Well, you don't say what the deal breaker was and you don't say what he did, which thing he broke, but said he broke them all. I mean, how is it a deal breaker if he breaks them all and then you still with him? That means you don't have any deal breakers. That means you just accept anything because you just want to stay in this relationship with this clown. A deal breaker is your bottom line. A deal breaker means if you do this thing here, if you talk to me this way, if you treat me this way, if you do this act here, we're done, sir. It's a instant rapalicious moment. Okay? That's what that means, your deal breaker. So the fact that he had enough time, energy, and effort to break them all means he was testing you. Because see, you was coming off like, yeah, because this is my bottom line. And it's like, I'm not gonna take this mess. I'm not gonna do all of that. Okay, so a lot of you are real good talkers. You talk all kind of shit. But then the dude's looking at you, right? Because he's looking at you and he's like, oh, I'm gonna test her. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna see what she does. So he's already ready. He's willing to put the relationship on the line the moment he takes that stance, because that means he don't care if he loses the relationship or not. It's a test to see if you really are serious. But see, a man who was worried about losing you wouldn't test you this way. He would definitely not break your, do anything to violate your deal breakers, because he would be too scared that you're really gonna do it, and he wants to be with you. Okay, understand this. So you have a dude who did not only one deal breaker, but all of them, and you're still with him. That means you don't have any deal breakers. That means he has no respect for you at all. That's why he told you, I'm not going to counseling with you. I would rather just leave, because you ain't shit. You treat yourself like you ain't shit. And as a man, why do I want a woman who ain't shit and don't think nothing about herself and holds herself in no value and doesn't have any boundaries? See, you guys don't think about that. Men want a woman that they can be proud of. They want a woman who they can get around their friends trying to get them in some bullshit, right? And he'd be like, man, my woman's not going to go for that shit. I'll be coming up here at you to clock me upside the head or something. I'm taking my ass home. And so he can use that excuse, right? Because his friends know, that he loves you, and they know that you ain't about that life. And so his friends will be like, man, Deuces, we'll check you out on another time. You take your ass home, because we ain't trying to have, whatever her name is coming after us. Bye. Okay, that's what they're looking for. They want a woman who's got a fucking spine. Okay, and you act like this, you don't have one. You just want to hang on to the man. So many women don't understand this. And then they wonder why the guy cheats on them over and over and over and does all this weird stuff and takes their money, takes their shit, drives their car and crashes and all this kind of stuff. You claim that you have boundaries, but you really don't. And he pushes and tells us just to see what you're going to do. And you don't never do nothing. So he knows you just weak and you just talk a bunch of shit, but you ain't about nothing. You have no confidence and no self-esteem. And when a man sees that you're like that, he's not going to respect you and he's not going to love you, because you don't even love yourself. Okay? I want you to understand that. So you stay in counseling and you get rid of him. Okay, let him go. Don't call him no more. Block him. Remove his number. And you get your shit together before you start trying to date somebody else. And have your therapist work with you on establishing boundaries and what those mean and how important they are in your life, especially with men. Okay, you got to have them. And you got to be able to communicate them firmly. And anytime he violates them, because you can have different kinds of boundaries. You can have you on a timeout. I'm not talking to you for a week boundary. This is a boundary that, this is a no nookie boundary. Or you can have a boundary where if you do this or say this or treat me in this particular way, it's an instant breakup. And then you can have a boundary like if you do this, this, and this, and this, I'm going to shoot you. You can have those kind of boundaries too. I do. But, you got to have some. You cannot be dealing with these men with no boundaries. Let's move on. Question 24. And just remind everybody before we get to that point, hit that like and subscribe. As a matter of fact, wait a minute. I forgot. We have, I have new toys here. Yeah, I have banners. Hit that like and subscribe button while you here watching What the Fuck Tuesday. Become a participant in the channel. So I had to stop and do my commercial. Okay, why does it start doing that? It's showing all slow. Okay. You are watching What the Fuck Tuesday, the live stream relationship advice show here on the Depthrism channel with me. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. How do I do this? Okay, I turned it off. All right. That's fun. It's like a new toy. Okay, let's move on to question number 24 while y'all over there busy signing up and subscribing and whatnot. Let's do this. Young lady, 18 to 21. Oh, no location. Auntie, I am a 19-year-old student and I need some help. Just a few days ago, there was a situation I was in that ended with a group of random guys yelling weird sexual things directed towards me. A group. Not that it matters, but I didn't do anything. I never spoke to them or really even acknowledged them. It made me feel really uncomfortable, but it seemed to them like peak humor to bother me. I just tried to ignore it until I could leave. That brought up some feelings I had before. I was just getting over another thing that happened with a dude who wouldn't respect my boundaries after I repeatedly told him I was uncomfortable with the things that he did. He was a great guy up till then, and I really got to know him. Knew all about his past traumas, relationship with his family, internal struggles. And we had a lot of deep conversation. I knew him for quite a while. I really thought he was genuine, which is why I was so confused and felt slighted when he did what he did. I wonder what he did. After that, I was wary a little bit and worried that all guys were like that, but I know it's not good to generalize. But now I'm dealing with these same thoughts after the situation a few days ago. I keep wondering, why do I have repeated incidents? There are more in addition to the ones listed. Those are just the ones that stick out to me. Like with these guys, I've never had a woman ever put me in a situation like that before. And now I keep wondering if all guys really just like this, even though I know it's not good to think that way and it's not true. For example, my brother, even though he's not perfect, he's a genuinely great guy and has always been there for me. How do I work through these feelings so I'm not generalizing all men? You're 19 years old. You at that peak age where guys younger than you, guys your same age, guys a little bit older than you, like late, mid to late 20s, and old ass motherfuckers, 30s, 40s, and even older are going to be hitting on you. This is like the age that you're in. It usually lasts from about 17 to about 25, 26. And then, it drops a little bit. Um, would I say it's all men? Depending on where you are geographically, it could very well be all men. Like, say you in some inner city area, even if they don't say anything, they stop and they stare at you with these leering looks, or they lick their lips intentionally and they make lewd gestures. They may not vocalize anything, or they stand too close to you, or it's just they just creepy and weird, and they all do some variation of those things. So you had the kind where it's talking. They said vile things to you, like, goading each other on. Young men in groups are dangerous because they're stupid. They have this pack mentality, and most of them are followers. So the one person in the group who's the leader is, the rest of them are following that person's lead because they're stupid and they don't have enough intelligence to make a decision on their own for how to conduct themselves. So if their friend does something rude and crude to women, they just follow suit because it's more important to them to get the approval of those knuckleheads than it is for them to conduct themselves on the street away from home like they were taught by their parents to do. They act like they have no trauma. Training was raised by wolves. You know, it's just really unfortunate. But so that's what I'm really sorry. I don't want to just lead you wrong and say, oh no, that was only those particular dudes. It's not. It's pretty much all of them. Like, if you, like I said, you live in like an inner city area, you can forget it. It's every single last one of them. Even little boys, 12 or 13 years old, be trying to say, act stupid like that with little girls their age and stuff. It just, I don't know. It never escapes. I mean, even as old as I am, you go, and then here they come, and like at the gas stations, they be trying to, like, they on the other side of the pump, you pumping your gas. Hey, around here, Oakland. Hey, I ignore them. Then they want to come around, right? Because they want to make sure that you acknowledge them. Ain't you gonna say something to somebody? And I said, no, I'm not. I'm going back to pumping my gas. Well, that's rude, this and that. And me, you holding the pump, right? I'm holding the pump, you pumping the gas, and I would conveniently put my finger like this. You know what that means? Fuck you, around the pump. I'm not trying to talk to no Dusty trying to pick up somebody at a fucking gas station. And plus these men, plus the guys, dealing with dudes in their 40s and 50s and stuff. Some of them are starting to look kind of like Dusty and old. Not just more mature, but just like old, and like, you know, broken down old. That's not cute. I'm not trying to talk to you. You too old for me. They dicks be broken shit. They got pressure. I got all kind of shit going on. So I'm like, no. So anyway, I'm gonna just tell you this. Unfortunately, let me just tie these ends up. You're in that age group where pretty much everywhere you go, you're gonna run into some men who act like this because that's what they do. They're stupid. They're rude, crude, and disgusting individuals. You in the inner city, this doesn't have your location. That would have been helpful. But I'm telling you, if you in any inner city area where there's low class white men and nignogs, that's what you're gonna run into. Okay. The white dudes, in them areas, they be just as bad. Just trash. Like, but then I have something for them. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna go into that. What kind of shit I be saying to them. Question number 25. So this is the last advice question of tonight. Then we're going to go into our bonus question. This is from, it says married couple, 26 to 32 from Redwood City, California. My husband and I are 4 months along in our first pregnancy. We're having a boy. My husband and I really like the name Grayson. Grayson. The problem is that my husband has such a huge family. His grandma is one of 12 and his grandpa is one of 9. So you can imagine how big of a family I'm talking about. Yeah, my grandparents had kids like that too, on both sides. Well, one of my husband's third cousins has a son who is named Grayson. I kind of feel like the family would judge me if we use the name. We don't see them, but maybe once or twice a year at a birthday party, but I don't know. I'll feel like I'll be judged. We are both writing this letter to you to ask, is it wrong to use the same name for our child as someone else in the family? What are your thoughts? I don't know about wrong, but it's not cool for your kid. Let me put it that way. Don't you think your child would want to have their own identity? Like in my family, there's no other Deborah. It's just me. So when everybody says Deb, everybody knows who they talking about. Everybody on both sides of my family. My father's side with all them zillion kids. My mother's side with all them zillion kids. I'm the only Deb. But with that, it was bad enough I have a cousin who's born on my birthday. She was cute though, so I didn't really mind too much. But I remember at first, because I think, how old was I when she was born? Maybe 7 or 8 or something. Yeah, I'm young enough to know, but then still, too young to be really logical about it. And I was all put out. Like all other days in the year, she could have been born. Why she got to be born on the same day as me? So they started trying to give us, joint birthday parties. My mother quickly shut that shit down because here I'm so much older than her. It's like, what she gonna be trying to have a joint birthday party with them with her for? No, she gonna have her own party. And you gonna have your daughter gonna have her own. But that bothered me. But other than that, so anyway, long story short, what you want to do is like, you say Grayson. What about Gray Dunn? Change the S to a D, right? A name I always liked. If I had a son, I was gonna name him Marcellus. You know why? I just love that name. It just has like cool to it. It's kind of like Superfly, Marcellus. It just has like this sexy strength kind of thing to it or something, at least in my mind. But of course, I never had a son. But if I did, that was going to be his name. I didn't tell anybody. I'm telling you all now. It's going to be Marcellus. And, so think of something else. Don't give your kid, find some other name that you like. You're only 4 months along. You got a bunch of time to think about it. I went to the hospital to have my daughter. We had all kind of names picked out, right? Long list of options. Do you know that girl was 2 weeks old and she was just still baby because we the names that we picked didn't fit her personality at all. They were all like Camille and these little dainty little feminine names and stuff. I forgot what else we had on that list. I don't know. I don't remember now. It was so long ago. But the names, we looked at that list and it was like, oh, none of these names fit. So I went to my brother. So she has 4 names. She has the first name that I picked. And my husband, he liked it, but I picked it. Then each of my brothers, my 2 oldest brothers rather, picked a name, and so we hyphenated it as her middle name. And so that's my daughter has 4 names. I couldn't pick, I just couldn't leave them out. My brothers, I loved them, and they were so excited, and they wanted to help name the baby because the baby was just baby For 2 weeks. She was like, baby. Everybody's like, when you gonna name that goddamn kid? And it's like, it's I couldn't come up with because nothing fit. She would just call. She would just baby. Oh, that was so embarrassing because people be like, they want to know what you name what's your baby's name. And you just sit there looking at them stupid because you don't want to say we don't know. She don't have no name yet. She just baby. That was sad. But yeah, finally we named her. You got 4 names? Or you was doing? Yeah, we had a list. I don't know, it's 4 or 5 names. None of them. She didn't get named. Not one of them names. So, that could be what happens to you too. You had these preconceived notions as a parent, and then you meet the child, and the child's personality shines so bright. And we realized my daughter came out the womb kicking ass and taking names. She beat the nurse up. Nurse, you know how they do the thing where they try to prick the baby's foot and stuff? And they put the little drops in their eyes and all that, the silver nitrate or whatever the hell it is. She was swinging on the nurse. We could not believe it. And she was seriously fighting. So we were like, oh, this is not a Camille. I don't know who this is, but we had to really come up with a name for her. And none of them names fit. Ramsey, Lucas. Okay, that's a whole bunch of names. Yeah, Millie, Millie. See, Millie laughing at me. She just baby, I swear. That was it. I said to everybody like, you need to name that damn child. That was my daddy. You need to name that damn baby. I'm like, I'm trying to. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to name her. Like, you want me to name her after you? Oh, that was such a chore. Okay. Brought back memories. But yeah, you got plenty of time. Look online, pick her some, foreign name or something. That sounds kind of exotic. Hunsu. It's Korean. Don't ask me what it means. Okay, married couple. Okay, that's the one I read. Okay, so now we're on to our final question of the night, which is our bonus question. So let's see what this is. It's female 225 from Detroit. Deb, with a whole bunch of exclamation marks. I heard you on Clubhouse in somebody else's room talking. The subject was about women responding to the question, what do you bring to the table? Well, that was earlier today. I heard you say that is a crazy question to ask, and that men who ask it are just being lazy bums, setting women up to approval seek and be judged, which I interpreted to mean a pick me situation. I'm in my early 20s, and this is a question popular with Black men these days. I never know what they want to hear or what I should say, and I find it awkward, intimidating, and a bit rude. I am writing because I want to hear a little bit more about why a woman should never answer this question. I think you explained before I came into the room, but I missed it. This question comes up so much from Black men lately. If I really want to know the reason you feel we should never answer them. I respect your wisdom and intelligence and need some ammo in case another guy asks me this. Thank you. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, I was in this room. It was interesting. Let me try to see if I can sum it up. Because I was working on some other paperwork and just had was listening to it as I was working. But basically, the lady wanted to know, the way she explained it to me was that she posed this question because not really because of men asking it. She wanted women to know, to think about what they bring to the table. She had to explain it to me because I was clueless about why anybody would want to know this. But she's like, I wanted women to think about what they bring to the table because a lot of them just want to like cook, clean, and bone a dude and look pretty, and they think that's enough. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, for a lot of men, that is enough. I mean, some of them you don't even have to cook; they all about the boning, and that's all they care about. But I did say that, because truly, some men that is all they care about. But she wanted to know. So I, when it came my turn to speak, I said that I feel like that's a stupid question, and that a man who asks that question is being a lazy bum, trying to take a shortcut with his little checklist of what he wants. And basically it puts the woman in the position of having to audition her wifely skills and her personality and all stuff. It's like she has to try, like she's trying to position herself to sell herself, like it's a job interview with somebody. And these women are all like, well, it's a potential relationship. And these are women in their 30s, educated women, that I'm sitting there thinking, are you still stuck on that potential relationship shit? Not the potential for a husband that you already in a relationship, a potential relationship. That's what they said. There's no such thing as a potential relationship. Just a motherfucker you just met. Okay, you just met him. And so I admonished them about that. And I'm like, look, this is the whole purpose of dating. When you are, you spend time with somebody, you try to get to know them, you talk to them, you ask them questions, you pose, hypothetical situations, you observe how they move, how they handle themselves, how they interact with people, what they talk about, who their friends are, how they interact with their family, what their family's like. That's what dating is. And you get to know the answer of what this person brings to the table if you are a person who has two eyes and two ears. Shit, you can get by with one eye and one ear, but most of us have to observe and listen and ask the right questions. This is the vetting process. Okay, it's not anybody's job to tell you what they offer. It's your job to figure it out if what they offer matches what you need. That's why you date them. That's what I was trying to get them to understand, right? Oh man, you would have thought I said kill Jesus or something, the way they went crazy. And so then this guy gets on and he starts going on and on, talking about women trying to get a free dinner or something. I don't know what he was talking about. I'm thinking, clown, don't you use the telephone to screen if a woman is somebody you want to go spend money on before you spend it? I didn't know. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. But this other guy starts saying, and just from this one conversation, he says, I recognize that you're brave and you're courageous and you speak your mind and you say things that other women wouldn't want to say because they're afraid to say it and blah, blah. He figured all that out about me in 5 minutes. Okay, maybe 10. I don't know how long I talked. I don't think I talked more than 5 minutes, but he figured that out about me. So I get back on the phone, on the call, and I say, okay, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We're not even on a date, but he has already seen some personality traits from me to know this is what I bring to the table. I had to point it out because people be dense on Clubhouse. You got to like hold their hand and walk them through stuff. I'm thinking the IQs. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out if that's going to be the place for me, but I committed to 6 months. So I'm going to do it. But, so I had to feel like I had to walk these people through this. And it's like, he already started the process. So that's all I was trying to explain to them. That's what you do on a date. That's what you do when you're seeing people. That's why you see different people and you try to figure out what they have is that what that's offering is what you want. Who has the most of what you want? That's the direction you go. Okay, you don't expect somebody to give you a list like you applying for a fucking job. You ain't paying me, and there ain't no 401k associated with dating your tired, ugly ass. It's just not happening. So I was like, this is some amazing shit. But yeah. So anyway, by the time I got off, most of them was agreeing with me. But I got off because I wanted to rest before the show. And so I hope that answers your question. Stardust, girl. Sorry to answer. I mean, huh? T. You ain't never lied. Special in quotes. Special. SHUL at the end. Special. I don't know. Every time I get off of there, I feel like I'm in the Matrix. It's like, what just happened? Who are these people? Where did they come from? Are they for real? I'm thinking, I've been asking myself this. Who thinks like this? Who talks like this? Who in 2021 still has this mentality about men and women and relationships? Them dudes are on some like Stone Age shit on there. And it's just amazing to me. I don't know. Like I said, I committed to being there through December, through the end of the year. But that may be the end of me on Clubhouse, but we'll see what happens. I really want to just use it as a form to, bring people over here where I do most of my stuff. Because I'm telling you, the thinking is just so bizarre. But anyway, enough of me whining about all of that. Let me get over here and put this on. Okay, so what do we have? So on Friday, we got the Dusty News Network. We will have a show this week. And because I'm not doing the show on Saturdays. We'll do the show Friday. And I will see you guys then. If you got something you want to submit to the Dusty News Network, send your screenshot to survivingdating@gmail.com and make the subject line Dusty News or DNN, and we'll take a look at it and see if it makes the cut. See you guys. Love having you here. Thanks, Shay. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Bye-bye.